One meal a day will transform your life. The key is knowing when to use it, when to avoid it, how to troubleshoot problems that arise, and the key strategies that are necessary to get optimal results. I've practiced one meal a day for over 8 years now, and I'll reveal to you the little known secrets. Hey Wellness Warriors, I'm Dr. Nick Zarowski, and I started my holistic health practice in order to help you take control of your health naturally, because true health, well, it only comes naturally. So be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell. The first thing we want to think about is, why would we even want to do one meal a day in the first place? Everything that we do for our health should always have purpose. Now there's 3 big reasons that I see most people, including myself, go and do one meal a day. The first is going to be for weight loss, because when you're fasting, what happens is that you push your body into a fat burning state. As you are fasted and you're burning that fat for energy, well, weight loss comes pretty easy. The second big reason that I see a lot of people do one meal a day is to help them reverse insulin resistance. A lot of people are suffering from this, and it's a big problem out there. When you're fasted for all those hours, what happens is you push your body to become more insulin sensitive. And as a result, your body's able to manage your blood sugar mechanism much better. And well, blood sugar starts to become balanced. Now, the third big reason is going to just be for general well-being. And look, fasting offers so many amazing benefits. You're going to activate the process of autophagy. You're going to lower inflammation in your body. So anybody who's just looking to optimize general well-being, one meal a day is a great thing to practice. For me, I've practiced OMAD for a long period of time, as I mentioned, and I practice it for every one of those reasons that I mentioned above. And it also helps me improve my gut health as well, because it turns out when you give your gut a break from digesting food all the time, it does wonders for it. But let's do this. You know I love to chat with you guys, so let's get a conversation going in the comments below. Do you practice one meal a day? And what's your why behind it? Like, what kind of benefits are you trying to achieve? Let's chat about it. Now let's talk about the fasting hours and also your eating window, because this is very important. Because while doing one meal a day, you're only eating just one meal. And it is your goal to make sure that you're getting proper caloric intake during this time. You know, regardless of what people think, this is not a starvation technique. You need to make sure that you're eating right. So if your proper caloric intake is 2,000 calories a day without fasting, then your proper caloric intake with fasting is still 2,000 calories a day. It doesn't change. The best practice for one meal a day is a 2-hour eating window. Some people will tell you to be really strict with it and try to get it all within like 30-minute period. It's just not worth it. I've tried it before. You end up not chewing your food properly. You end up just stuffing yourself and not even enjoying your meal. And probably one of my biggest complaints is it just was really uncomfortable. I mean, you're eating a lot of food in a very short period of time. You are overwhelming your digestion. And all for what? It really isn't going to alter your results that much. So look, best practice is 2 hours. If you want a little bit more time, then take it. If you want a little bit less time, then cut some off. At the end of the day, don't obsess over the minute details, because it's not really going to change your results that much. But I'd love to know, so let's put in the conversation below. How many hours are you using for your eating window? Put down below, and we can even do our own little research here and just see what the best practices are in order to help everybody here who's watching. So what is your eating window? Comment below. Now let's talk about what to eat on one meal a day, because this is so important. It'll literally be the defining factor to determine whether you feel pretty lousy on it or you feel great. I also want to be clear though, one meal a day is not a diet. It's an eating strategy. So if you choose to eat whatever you want and eat like garbage on it, it's an option, though I don't recommend it. It certainly is an option. When doing one meal a day for me, I like to focus on eating low carb. I like to do mostly no sugar, and then focus on eating healthy and whole foods. I will really drift between like a moderate keto, and sometimes, you know, just during holiday seasons throughout the year, I might be more towards like a paleo end of the spectrum. The other thing that we have to look at too is the macros, okay? Some people will get really specific and precise with their macros, but you can count them and do that. However, you can get really far with just making sure that you're prioritizing healthy fats, healthy proteins, and eating lots of veggies. Now, I think, as I mentioned, eating a healthy diet is incredibly important. What do you think? Hit that thumbs up button if you think that eating a healthy diet is really important when following one meal a day. And let me tell you, if you're eating a high carb, high sugar diet full of a whole bunch of processed foods, there's no doubt you will certainly struggle with this. And this is because you're going to have huge blood sugar spikes. You're going to have huge dips. You'll go from hyperglycemic to hypoglycemic. You just won't feel well. You'll have incredible cravings. You'll have brain fog. You'll have drowsiness. You'll be moody. You just don't want that. And in order to help you get set up on the right path, I'll go ahead and put a link to a free download that has an example meal that I would use personally for my one meal a day. Now, the next question I always get is, well, if OMAD is so good, it's probably healthy to do it every single day, right? Well, the answer all comes back down to the first question I gave you at the very beginning. And what is your why behind this? Now, me personally, I am perfectly happy with my state of health doing one meal a day, 1 to 3 times a week. And what I do is I intuitively listen to my body, so that may change throughout the year. It's so important not to be too rigid with these different strategies that you implement in your life, because at the end of the day, life will always throw you curveballs. We're human, right? You're going to get curveballs, and it's important not to be too rigid, because if you are, then it just won't be a sustainable practice. So for you, you might want to do it 5 days a week. You might just want to do it 1 day a week. It's all about what works best for you. There's no right or wrong answer. But I will tell you this though, I have noticed through experience that it works best if you're not doing it every single day, 7 days a week. What works best is if you do it and then take some breaks from it, because what happens is if you do it every day, your body becomes patterned and you start to not see as good of benefits. Think of it almost as if you're doing the same exercise every day. And when you exercise doing the exact same thing daily, what happens is your body plateaus and you just don't seem to see those benefits from that exercise anymore. Well, the same thing I've noticed happens with fasting. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in many of the patients I've worked with, their lives. And so what I recommend is if you want to do it more often than not, then do OMAD 5 days a week and then take 2 days completely off, and you'll be very happy with your results. Now, as Murphy's Law states, everything that can go wrong at some point will in fact go wrong. And when you're doing one meal a day, there are challenges that you can run into. The good news is I've either seen, I've heard, or I've experienced them, and none of them are life-threatening. You might not feel so good if you run into these challenges, but they're certainly not life-threatening. And the better news is that pretty much all of them can be solved with a few simple tweaks. Now, the first thing I want to really push is that you want to make sure you're following a healthy diet. This is one of the biggest causes of people not feeling well on one meal a day or not getting the results they hope to achieve simply because they're not eating a good quality diet. So that's one thing. Double down on that diet. The next thing is if you're exercising and you're following a low carb diet and you're fasting all these hours, there's a good chance you will run into a state where you have depleted electrolytes, and that will make you feel horrible. I have done that. I have very good experience in that. And so I recommend making sure that you're adding a lot of electrolytes back into your food, drinking some electrolyte-based water, or even getting an electrolyte powder. I use an electrolyte powder every single day, and it's what I find works best for me personally. Now, the other thing that you have to look at is that if you have blood sugar instability, or you just have any stress on your body, and this could be stress in the way that, you're stressed out at work, you're not sleeping well at night, you just have some other chronic stress, or maybe there's some low-lying condition you're suffering from, make sure that you use things like B vitamins and also adaptogenic herbs. They work wonders in this case for really helping you just balance out your blood sugar and overcome stress. Because what happens with one meal a day is that at the end of the day, it's a stressor on your body. It's a good stressor, but it's still a stress. And so if you can take some vitamins and some nutrients and some herbs to help you overcome and deal with that stress, it will make you feel a million times better. So don't underestimate the power of that. If you're doing one meal a day and you're just not feeling well and you're eating the proper diet, you know your electrolytes are good, look to B vitamins and adaptogenic herbs. Now, the next big question is who shouldn't be doing one meal a day? Because this is important to know. And I'm going to start with the most obvious, and I think it's the most obvious, but a lot of people ask me this question, and that is pregnant women. Pregnant women or women who are nursing should not be doing one meal a day. There's a plenty of ways out there to improve your health naturally, and this just isn't a strategy that fits in your life well at this point in time. Now, I also want to point out that women in general can sometimes struggle with one meal a day. I'm not saying all women, but some women will, and you'll be better suited to do just 16 and 8 because your body will like it better. And listen to your body. If your body tells you that one meal a day, doesn't matter who you are, if it tells you that is not right for you, just don't do it. And then of course, if you're suffering from some sort of chronic condition, you should just talk to your doctor about it before jumping into it, because you never want to do something that is going to cause yourself any harm. And geez, I almost forgot to mention a very important topic, and that is, what can you drink well in the fasted state? Or can you eat anything well in the fasted state? Well, it's an important question because this is something that everybody argues about. So what I'm going to do is tell you what has worked best for me and what has worked best for the over 15,000 patients that I've worked with over the years, and helping them implement strategies just like this and get great results. Now, for me personally, I am a purist when it comes to this. I want to make sure that I'm not breaking my fast, because the fact is if you start kind of playing the game of, am I breaking it or am I not, and you're really pushing the limits, there's a good chance that you will break your fast, and then you just don't get the results that you're looking for, the benefits of being in that fasted state. So when fasted, I like to drink things like regular water, good purified water, sparkling water, black coffee, some black tea. There's some other teas too. You can do like a ginger tea. Make sure it's 0 calorie. That's very important. And then also even an apple cider vinegar drink. Okay, you can have some apple cider vinegar during this time as well, and that won't break your fast. Now, the other school of thought is, well, you can eat under 50 calories, and if it's under 50 calories, that doesn't break your fast, or you can add cream to your coffee. Look, I think that you're really pushing the limits there. And like I said, the challenge is if you are putting that cream in your coffee and it is breaking your fast, well, once you break the fast is broken. Now you have really just turned yourself into low calorie deficit situation, but not really in a fasted state anymore. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the biggest challenges I faced while doing one meal a day was falling into an electrolyte deficiency. And I don't want this to happen to you, so you can learn everything you need to know about electrolytes and proper hydration in this video right here.